Welcome to Sipping on Excellence. This is Coach KJ, and I'm here with my man, my dude, the Doc.
And this is where we will be discussing the exceptional that is absolutely attainable. My friends, here's to living that extraordinary life.
Cheers.
Yeah, all right.
Let me fix myself.
Dude's headphones are like,
Right. Like I'm DJing at a party.
Just got the one headset.
Yeah. Turn my mic up. Who's that?
I don't know.
Dave Chappelle.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. Welcome to another episode of these two guys.
Sipping on excellence.
Sipping.
Man, good to be back for
One
another
steady
week.
flow at a time.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited about today.
I am. We had a good weekend.
Yeah, you got Dr. Leonel Hunt here, and you got life coach Kenneth Johnson, as always, doing big things. Let's dive in.
We're gonna dive right into this one. This. Oh yeah.
This affects everybody. All of you out there know somebody. If it ain't you,
And
it's like this.
In some capacity, we all have it.
And if you say, "Well, I don't know anybody like that," then it's you.
Say what? Say that again.
Yeah. If you say you don't know anybody like this,
You.
it's you.
You. Hashtag it's you.
Oh man. Oh, it's funny, man. Somebody came to me the other day and was like, Y'all don't sip on the show anymore. And I was like, well, in case y'all are wondering, the reason for that is because we wanted to get right into the meat of the topics and grasp y'all's energy and grasp y'all's attention and make sure that you guys all kind of tuned into what we were saying. The cocktail, it's sip on what you love. Sip on
Right.
what you like.
But the idea is we want you to sip on this information.
Correct.
And we want to dive into it.
And so when we started sort of the beginning of the next century of topics, we were like, you know what? The first 100 we gave y'all drinks and fun times and all that. Now it's going to be good times, info, and hopefully participation by you guys.
I'm just saying.
My friends and people around me, if any of you ever hear me say, don't be surprised if you're content, that means you're about to be content. It's happened plenty.
That little devilish laugh.
It's like this. Would you say again? No. Repeat that again.
My mental journal.
Right? Because
Put in that back
you will
pocket.
probably end up on a live or definitely
Yes.
going to end up on here. Not by
Understand,
name.
we pay attention anyway, but we're definitely paying attention to what you're saying now.
And paying attention to what you don't say.
Right. All the
So-
in-between lines. In between lines and in between times. You
So-
work your way and I work mine.
So this week, this topic is dedicated to all you control freaks out there. And more so, let's talk about learning how to let go.
Learning how to let go. That's an interesting thing. Interesting.
Especially coming from somebody like me.
Yeah.
Because I'm the worst at it. You know, is being a control freak, is it necessarily a bad thing?
I think it has its place. I'll say it that way. I'm going to say it gently. It has its place.
Right.
But when it affects those around you in a negative way, it's a problem.
Yeah.
If it's a hindrance, it's a problem.
Well, I think also the biggest take home from me from it is that if you're a control freak when it comes to you and your life, that's fine. Don't try to control me.
Right.
You can state your wishes and your opinions, but don't try to control my actions. And don't get pissed the hell off when you can't. So, prime example. Today, there's people out there who are used to having things their way.
Of course.
And I had a conversation with a patient today who is coming from afar to have surgery with me, blah, 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 whatever. And she proceeds to tell me with other people on the Zoom call what her expectations are. This is what's going to happen 100%.
Oh.
And you need to make sure, and then she's talking to the assistants, the people who are helping her make this transition, what she expects them to do for her. And as she's talking, I quickly was like, "Oh, shut it down." And I was like, "All right, I'm going to stop you right here because this is not how this is going to work. This is what's going to happen, and here's how it's going to go down." Well, I think, no, you're not understanding. It's not registering. Listen, you don't dictate anything. You show up, you get the best care possible, and you go home. And it's funny because the other people on the Zoom call, they were silent. They were looking at me like, oh. And I'm like, this is how this goes. You don't get to dictate anything else. Well, I don't want surgery first thing in the morning because I have a hard time waking up. I'm like, this is not a hair appointment that you set for when you want to get it done. Your surgery's on this particular day, and what time it happens on that particular day is completely up to me. Not up to you, not up to the hospital, completely up to me. And what happens thereafter is completely up to me. Not the people on this call. They don't make that decision. I make that decision. And once you've agreed to surgery and I operate on you, it is no longer a democracy. How you proceed down this path is completely a dictatorship, which you are more than welcome to walk away from at any time.
Right.
Because this isn't me being a control freak. This is me getting you to let go so I can take care of you. I mean, this control freak idea came up this weekend when we were talking about massage, remember? And I was like, I don't do great with professional massages because I can't not think about what's happening and just fine, do what you got to do. I'm be like, why are you touching me there? What's going on there? Why is that so tight? What's this? What's that?
Right.
So
right.
I can't relax
you
in that
become
scenario.
too overly involved
Yeah.
in her job to help you relax. And
Like-
so you're never relaxed.
Like I had this idea of anesthesia, not because I was afraid I wasn't going to wake up. It's just, I got to just let go. And you put me to sleep, and then I wake up knowing that everything you did in between was cool. I'm usually the one doing all the stuff that's cool.
Yeah.
So if you're used to driving all the time and then you sit in the passenger seat, that's a rough one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but I'm not such a control freak where I have issues getting on planes or anything like that. I'm gladly.
I'm not a pilot.
I'll gladly let somebody else fly the plane. I'll gladly jump in the backseat of an Uber and be like, get me where I need to go, dog.
Right.
That I don't mind. But there's just certain aspects. And I think, again, I control me. I don't like to control other people. Right. I don't even attempt to control other people. I just laugh like, y'all will figure it out.
Right. Right.
I
mean, I have the same experience with clients. I mean, some don't become clients because they come at me and say, okay, so when we start training, I need to do some high reps and I need to do, I'm like, oh, okay. Sounds like you got it all planned out. Well, you let me know how that schedule goes.
Right.
Because you don't want me.
Think about like training me. I know things.
Of course.
But I don't come to you and say, Kenny, I want it. That'd be the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Like I can't train myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can exercise myself.
Correct.
But I can't program myself.
But think about how I got you to deadlift when you didn't expect.
Oh, there was zero chance I was going to do that shit.
He was like, oh, I'm never going to deadlift. I was like,
I never told him what I wanted to do. I just told him what I'm not doing.
and he kept saying, and I said, oh, okay, cool. Sounds good. All right. So I want you to pick up this kettlebell. You're going to pick it up on the outside of the one hand, then on the other side. And it kept going, kept going.
Played the Jedi mind trick.
Oh, my God. And put this brother in a 315. And he's like, How'd you do that? I didn't do anything. You did it.
It wasn't going to happen.
But you did it.
Yeah.
You did it.
And
And we moved away from it. You know, it's like, okay, prove the point.
Yeah, you just got to let go.
Yeah.
And too many of us are like this all the time. And you're trying to control a world that is uncontrollable.
Yeah. And you know what happens? Only thing that you're controlling is how high your stress level is increasing and it's making you sick.
Yeah.
Absolutely sick.
You know, take control of your own emotions first. Control that. You want to control something?
Yeah.
Control that.
Yeah.
Because if you control that, then the rest of your world will be less chaotic. You know, and if what I'm doing every day doesn't affect you, don't try to control what I'm doing.
I'm just saying.
I mean, literally, I think about that and I'm like, yeah, if your life doesn't affect mine, I kind of don't care what you're doing. I care if it makes you miserable. I'll give you some pointers, but I'm not going to control it for you. You have to control that aspect. I'll just be like, hey, you might want to consider this. This might help.
Yeah.
You don't run my life? Cool.
Okay.
But the minute that starts to fuck with my life, I'm stepping in. I'm be like, you got to change this or go.
Yeah.
Because this is not going to how this is going to go down. If you're the only one miserable, cool. But if you're making me miserable, we got a problem.
Yeah. It's because we're information guys.
Yeah.
You know, on top of our service, we provide information. And if you are asking and wanting my information, take it, use it, utilize it. But don't keep asking me the same thing over and over again and not utilizing it. But you want to control it, and they're like, you need to tell me this and this. And I'm like, you need to back up.
I want to ask you a question and then control the answer that you give.
Right.
Nah.
The news. The thoughts on everything that's happening in the world. Everybody is giving
somebody else is controlling the narrative.
The narrative.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe in what I believe, it's a problem, as opposed to you just having a difference in opinion.
Yeah. We can't agree to disagree anymore.
Yeah.
Because I want to control your thoughts and I want to control what you think so that way you can think like me.
And if you don't believe in what I believe, you are absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
Wow.
That shit's crazy, man.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense. But where are we going with it?
But here's the interesting thing too. People who are controlling and try to control other people, I think do so for any number of reasons. One, I will say the biggest reason is insecurities. Mm-hmm. A man who is very controlling of his woman. I don't want you going out with your friends. I don't want you doing this. I don't want you wearing that. I don't want you doing this. Ask him why he's that way. Is it past experience has led him to think that, oh, if she does this, she's cheating on me? Or is he really controlling? Or maybe he just doesn't want you stepping out in a way that he finds disrespectful to you or to your relationship. Mm. Because women like to throw out there, oh, he's trying to control me. Nah, he's just trying to get you to not be a hoe. You know what I mean?
Or appear to be.
Or appear to be, you know. If you're going out with friends, you still represent us. Act accordingly. I'm not trying to control you. Go do your thing. But realize how you make us look. You know, so that's one thing. So, and then when women are controlling, it's simply because I think it's insecurities as well.
Yeah.
And I think they want to control everything because of past experience. They've been hurt in the past, or they have a job where they're in control and they bring their job home and try to control the home the way they control their job.
Or as someone we know likes to say, my family of origin.
Or people always like to say this: I'm the way I am because of the way I grew up. And like people who have mommy issues, daddy issues, blah, 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 whatever. At what age do you stop blaming your parents on how they raised, especially if you've been on your own since you were 15 or 16? Mm-hmm. Their influence, yes, influenced the way that you acted then. Why can't you let it go now? Or do you always revert back to, well, that's how I was raised back then? Because people, you can't change the narrative.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can't, control that. How about that? Control that. Right now, the control freak is saying, I can't control why I'm controlling. You feel me? Does that make any sense?
That's exactly what it is.
I'm blaming somebody else who's a feeling is controlling me, which is why I'm controlling.
Now, I get the idea of understanding, let's say, family issues or something that happens, and you tend to revert back to that energy or that thought or that action. But if you are living in that action and saying that is the problem, that's the problem.
Yeah.
If you are not able to move outside of it and say, whoa, let me put the brakes on that, that's not good.
But here's the thing. If you know a specific thing is the problem, mm-hmm. then you're choosing not to control it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
You're choosing not to control it. Because if I say, Kenny, that yellow shirt's a problem for me and triggers me to do something, whatever, I can say, plain and simple, dog, I'd appreciate it if you not wear that shirt in my house. I'm controlling.
GFY.
You know?
Oh, GFY.
But you get what I'm saying, right? Yeah. It's because I know the problem, but if I'm like, damn, I don't know why I'm so uptight right now, mm-hmm. then I can't control that. But once I figure out what has made me this way, it's very simple at that point to say I'm going to control that as best as I can instead of saying I'm just going to sit and live in it because that's my fallback excuse. Whenever I do something that's not acceptable, I can blame it on something in my life that triggers it. As much as we hate the word trigger. Yeah. But I'm just saying, people fall back on that all the time. And it's like, you can control it. You're a control freak. Control that shit too.
Right. Right.
I want to control everybody else, but I can't control how I am.
Right.
And you think you can control how I am because you can't control yourself. I can't control the way I am, so I'm going to control you to make you just adapt to the way that I am.
Yeah. So I don't have to worry about me.
Yeah.
That's what it really is. I don't want to have to think about me right now. So if I think about you and your issue that I have with you, now it's a problem. So you're the problem. That way I don't have to worry about me being the problem.
Yeah.
Even though I'm causing the problem.
Yeah. And you look at and you look at it in the job sense. Mm. Control freaks that are bosses, right? that run companies that are bosses. Those companies don't excel. And the reason why is because a real control freak doesn't know how to delegate.
No.
Now, I'm a control freak in a sense that I want things done a certain way, which means I don't want patients to suffer. That's what I control. How that happens, I state, this is what I want done, do it. I don't go back every few minutes and check, was it done? It's just that when it doesn't get done, we have a problem. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to micromanage. I just need, on a high level, this is what needs to be done. Y'all figure it out.
Yeah.
A true control freak is going to be like, I need this, and I need to see it when it's done. I need you to do this, I need you to do that, and then show it to me twice. Mm-hmm. I don't know that work environment works for the people that you're trying to control.
No, because you don't know how that person responds.
Correct.
At all. And people respond differently. Some people are audible. Some people are visual. You know what I mean? So however they're seeing it or feeling it or vibing with it, you don't know how they're receiving your information. So you can't always get upset if they're not receiving your information. I had this discussion with my wife today. Mm-hmm. Like we were talking about, they were doing a training, and I said, and she was getting frustrated within the training, and I was asking her, I said, well, in the training, because they're just running through, I said, so then technically they're not teaching you. They're not training you. They're telling you. So don't get upset at yourself because you can't control how they're teaching you. You just have to be able to say, okay, well, I need some other information and let them know.
Or just say, I don't learn like this.
I don't learn. Exactly.
Can you present it to me in this manner?
Right.
Control your scenario.
Yeah.
And because other people may be learning different. Now, if it's one-on-one and you don't tell them this is what I expect, then you can't get mad at them and you can't get mad at yourself.
Right.
You can only get mad at yourself because you didn't control the scenario. You know, like for me, getting help on the medical side from like physician assistants and whatever, that kind of thing, has always been tough for me because until people prove themselves, even training residents, et cetera, until people prove themselves and their abilities, I micromanage. What's the conversation you have with the patient? How exactly did you tell it to them? Because if you're my mouthpiece, it needs to sound like it's coming from, it needs to sound like it's coming from me. And so I need to know what you said. And what you said was wrong. I need you to dial it back, and then I'm going to sit here. I'm going to read every single one of your notes. I'm going to do all this stuff. And then as time goes on, I hand over control. You don't go up in a plane with a student and let him fly day one. You know, you don't let them solo flight day one.
Right.
You got to teach him, here's the throttle. Okay, now that you know how to use the throttle, I'm going to let you hold the throttle while I hold the stick.
Right.
Okay, so now you know how to use this. Now I'm going to let you do both those. But it's not, hey, have at it. No, I'm still controlling the scenario.
Yeah.
Because if this plane doesn't land, it's my bad, not yours.
Yeah.
You know, so controlling in that environment makes sense because it's my business, so I'm going to control it. I'm not going to control you as a person, but I will control how you treat my business. You know, and you go to a relationship, I'm not going to control the relationship. I'm just going to control my part on how I act and am in the relationship. I can't control how you respond to this relationship.
Right.
I can only control how I respond. And if you respond negatively to what I am controlling, then I need to figure out how to make that better by asking, hey, what can I do different so you respond to me better?
Yeah. Yeah. Help me help you.
Not saying I'm doing this and I need you to be this way.
Right.
Well, what if that's not me?
Yeah.
I'm not that dude.
I'm not taking your information in right.
Yeah.
I'm not receiving your information.
Or I'm not willing to bend, so I need you to bend. No. I need you to just control your emotions and your life, and then I will meet you halfway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it goes back to when I can't remember which podcast when we talked about the idea of, especially with men, how you have to control your emotions and work on you just being you is exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
As opposed to like moving around however she needs you to move around, because that needle will keep moving.
It doesn't work.
And you're never going to make her satisfied because she's not present to exactly what she really wants. But what you can do is control how you feel, how you act, and how you treat her. And eventually she'll just kind of evolve around coming back to you based off of your own personal control over yourself.
Yeah, we always say, I can't control your happiness.
No.
You know, and there's nothing that burns me up more. And I'm going to say this, when a woman says, you need to do this for yourself.
You need to. Anytime
you say you need
to,
listen to us carefully, ladies. Never go to your man and say you need, especially if it's not about you. You can say, I would like it if you did this for me or you treated me a certain way. But if I'm doing something a certain way for me, don't come tell me you need to do this for you differently. Yeah, that shit doesn't work.
Yeah.
What if I'm completely content on the path that I'm on? You could always say, hey, did you think about this? This is another way to look at it. This approach may work differently. Not better, it may work differently. But don't say you need to do this.
Right.
Because that's clearly you trying to control me and the narrative instead of just controlling you.
Real talk. Real talk.
Dude, it's shit like that just would rub me wrong. My entire life, it's always somebody telling me what I need to do for me. Mm-hmm. Well, what if I don't want to do that shit for me? You know, what if that's not what I want for me?
Yeah. I mean, in very small dosage, things like, say, for instance, household chores. Like, I don't necessarily like the way my wife folds the clothes versus the way I fold the clothes. Do I tell her? No. I just let her fold them because she did it.
Yeah.
When I put them in my drawer, I refold them exactly the way I want them. There's no problem. Way I wash dishes, she looks at me and is like, really? Really? But it's the way I wash dishes. I watch everything in particular order.
Yeah.
You know, because that's just the way I operate.
And it's not hurting anyone.
No, it's just the way I do it.
And believe you me, your wife sees your drawers. She sees how your clothes are folded. She knows how you like your clothes folded. If she chooses to fold them the way she wants to do them versus the way you want to do them, that's on her. But here's the difference. Let that role be reversed. And you folded the clothes, but didn't fold the clothes the way she likes them folded, and she had to refold them.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. It's an absolute problem. Instead of just saying, you know what, I'm just happy he did it.
Yeah.
It's not exactly how I want it. That's why a lot of women out there, when a dude gets the house cleaned, they come back and say, I might as well just do it myself if it's going to be done like this. Well, then you should have.
But funny, in my household, it don't work that way. If I clean, you like, thank God.
You know, like I know friends who
I
know friends who have a housekeeper, and they'll clean the house before the housekeeper comes, and then they'll clean when the housekeeper leaves. Then why do we have a housekeeper?
Yeah.
You just clean then. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm wasting money on a housekeeper. If you're going to do it, then just do it. But you want to control everything. And you can't control what people think. You can't control how people act. Not even your own kids. You can only tell your kids what to do and then punish them a certain way if they don't do what you want. Right. But you can't control whether or not they do it.
Yeah.
And this goes with your spouse, your friends, whatever. You can't control that. Your employees that work for you, you can't control what they do. You can only control whether or not they stay employed if they don't do your bidding.
Right.
So if you thought about it like that, you really can't control anybody but you. But yet we waste so much time trying.
Yeah. What I find interesting about control is that most people don't even have an identifiable outcome of that control.
No.
They just think it should be done, or it should sound, or it should feel a certain way.
Yeah, like, what do you expect?
But they don't have an expectation of the end result. They don't know. They think it's going to be this way, but they can't wrap their head around it.
Yeah, it's like, what are you asking for? All right, you're trying to control this scenario. Mm-hmm. What are you asking for? What are you trying to control? And they can't give you an answer at all. And it's the craziest shit. But nobody ever asks, what are you really asking me?
Nobody questions that question.
Yeah, at all, man, at all. You know, and I'm the type of person too, if I'm in a scenario where it's a team effort needs to be had, right? Mm-hmm. And I see there's people on the team that or we're all looking at each other like, that's only going to happen for 2 seconds. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Like, I got this. Until somebody else steps up and says something different, this is how we're going to move.
You're like me.
Because we're going to move.
That we have in common.
Yeah. It's like, we're going to move.
I always like to say I'm a caboose. I'll pull up the rear.
You know?
Okay, this is what we're going to do. And I try to do it where I'm inclusive.
But if people if people can't make a decision, well, I don't know. Well, here's what we're going to do first. We're going to do this, this, and this. And if people don't want to do something or think it's a bad idea, then you speak up. If not, that's step one. You can be a part of step two, but this is where we're starting, or else we're never going to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. Somebody's got to make a decision, and it's not being controlling. It's just somebody's got to do something.
Yeah. Not being controlling, but you have to be in control.
That part.
Yeah.
You know, but so many people and you ask them, if you ask them why, just say, hey, why Why do you have to be in charge? Why do you always have to be in control? And they honestly can't give you an answer. No. People ask me, well, why do you always have to be in control? I was like, because I'm only in control of me. Mm-hmm. These outcomes are completely up to me.
I know what I want. I know my outcomes.
I'm like, I don't try to control you.
Right.
At all. I don't control any of y'all over there.
But anything for you,
anything that touches me,
that and a representation of me, I'm in control of that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And if we're not on the same page before the rest of the world sees it, prime example, this podcast, we happen to be on the same page.
Right.
We're talking about this topic today. We like, hey, we're going to do this topic today? Cool. Well, all right, are we on the same page? Yep. All right, let's do this. This is what we're doing today. But it's not any one person controlling, because if we sat here like, I don't know what we're going to talk about today, a conversation would have started and it would have went down the path of a topic.
Right.
Somebody would have taken the control of the conversation and we run.
Yeah. Being in control is sexy. Being controlling is not. It is not sexy. It's pressing. It is energy sucking. It is life altering. It's annoying.
Ladies, think about the things you find sexy in your dude. We're going to bring it back to the relationship. You got a dude that's completely in control of him, his emotions, his job, his well-being. He's just everything a man should control in his world. He's in complete control. He's not chaotic. He's not flying off the handle. Y'all are probably like, whew.
Yeah.
Panty droppers. You know? Ladies, there's nothing less sexy than a woman who tries to control you. We don't like that shit, because every man, if he's not leading in the relationship, he at least wants to be in control of himself.
Right.
And if he feels like you're trying to control the relationship and you're trying to control him, that means you're trying to be a man. That shit's not sexy.
Right.
It's plain and simple. It's not.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is in regards to that, you know, as a man, what happens is when they're being controlling, we'll allow a lot of shit to fly.
Because we're like, if it doesn't matter, we're like, whatever.
Yeah,
fine.
Because it's
because the
no
argument
yeah.
that's going to come if we combat you on it ain't worth it.
Yeah, yeah. You know, but when it gets to the point where it's like, all right, you didn't cross that line. Let me cut this off right now.
Right.
Whoop!
Yeah.
Shut it down. You're out of control.
Like, all right.
Yeah, you're out of control now. Slow that down.
Slow your role, player. Because it's just about to get hot.
You made me think about that guy said, do you want the husband answer or do you want the real
truth?
answer?
You want the truth or the husband answer? Because they ain't about to be the same.
Yeah, that looks fine, baby. That's fine. Right. Looks amazing. Oh, do you want the truth? I don't give a shit.
Right. Either way. You know, but people, they don't want to hear that shit.
No, not at all.
You know, but it's so funny, man, because I sit back and look at my married friends and I watch them and I watch their relationships. Mm-hmm. And the longer they're in a relationship, the more I see the wife trying to control. And it's usually shit around the home that they're trying to control. Instead of controlling what they take care of in the home, they try to control what the man does in the home. Mm-hmm. And I just look like, and it makes a man, honestly, at times, look complacent and just henpecked. And in general, he's not henpecked. He's just like, I'm not going to stress the shit that don't matter.
Yeah.
This is her domain. Sure. You want me to do that? Cool. And you want me to do it when you want me to do it? Cool. The prime example is the guy who says, his wife's like, honey, could you take out the garbage? Sure, I'll take it out. She doesn't say right now, but she wants to control when he does it.
Right.
And because he doesn't do it right now, she goes and grabs and ties up the garbage and goes to drag it out to the street herself. Mm-hmm. It didn't have to be done right then and there, but she wants to control that environment. And it's like, no, I said I want this done, and I want you to stop whatever you're doing and do it right now because I want to control that scenario. Mm-hmm. That shit ain't cool. That shit's annoying. You know? But a lot of men just be like, fuck, because it's not worth the fight. Uh-oh. And why does it have to be a fight? It shouldn't.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like this search for the negative, this search for the what not. He did not. See? Prove me right. Prove the back of my brain right. See? I knew he wouldn't, but I didn't give him my opportunity to.
Yeah.
It's like, so where is he going to win in that circumstance?
You know, and I really do. I really feel that people need to focus way more attention on controlling their emotions and controlling their reactions. Mm-hmm. Your actions, you are in control because you do them. What you need to do is really be in control of your reaction. Yeah.
Yeah. And play on words, they're reactive.
Yeah.
As opposed to their reaction. They didn't put any thought into it.
No.
So it's reactive.
You can't control what somebody else does.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can absolutely control how you respond to what they do.
Absolutely.
You can't control how you feel, but you can absolutely control how you express the emotion of how you feel.
Yeah.
You're going to feel. You can't help that. Shit, it just comes on.
Yeah.
But feeling angry and acting out, two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling scared and showing fear, two different things.
Yeah.
You know? And so pay more attention to how you respond to what you're feeling and how you react to others' actions. Control those things, life gets so much better.
Huh. Simple.
You'll stress way less. You'll be way less uptight. You won't need massages every day. You know, you won't need to go see a therapist 5 days a week because you'll control most of the shit that's driving you crazy.
You won't watch the news and get wound up.
No.
Over BS. That has absolutely no effect on your life.
Exactly. But yet, and you won't be on social media all day looking at shit that you can't control. Mm-hmm. You know,
it's freedom.
Oh, I'm so pissed off because I don't look a certain way. Control that. Fix it.
I used to train a lot of golfers. And one of the things that I used to always tell them, because, you know, they come in, I want to hit the ball like Tiger Woods. You're 90. You're not going to hit the ball like Tiger Woods. But what I can offer is make your body, you're in control of your body. Make your body as strong as humanly possible so you can let go. Because golf is about letting go. It is the strength of pulling and just letting go through that swing. Bringing that together. Once you're strong, mind and body, everything's connected, you can let go.
Dude, the one thing, I agree, the one thing that everybody wants to control, but they refuse to believe they can't, is age and the effects of aging. So I say this because, example, I say this all the time. Somebody comes to my office and I'm like, yeah, you got an arthritic back. You're 65 years old and your back is 65. And they're like, well, what do I do about that? I'm like, there's no such thing as a fountain of youth. So the only thing you can control is how the rest of your body responds to your 65-year-old back.
Yeah.
Coach, he's got an old back, but the rest of his body knows that, and he takes care of controlling how the rest of his body moves around his old back. Yeah. It's that simple. But people don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that they're aging. But here's the funny shit. And we got to do a podcast on this at some point.
Well, oh boy.
Men don't care when you tell them, hey man, you're 80. every woman that comes in my office, regardless of her age, when I say it and equate things in their health to their age, it is the worst statement I could ever make.
Oh,
but I have to say it.
You're blasphemous.
But the thing is, and they fight so hard to try to control the narrative around their age. And so, hence why plastic surgeons are in such great business. Hence why estheticians and injectors and all these people and makeup industry is such a big thing, because they're trying to control the uncontrollable. Whereas men, we just want to be healthy and strong. We're not trying to defy age. We're just trying to work with what we got.
Capitalize on what we have.
And it's
it's still working? Oh, well,
it's the funniest,
let's see what we can do.
It's the funniest thing. And I heard the funniest statement, and this is going to piss a lot of people off, but it was funny as shit. When you talk about men and women aging, and in the marketplace of the world, the sexual marketplace, they always say men age like wine, women age like milk.
Curdle up and
but it's and it's not to sound crazy.
Oh, no,
it's not. Yeah, but and so people are still trying to control the things they can't control. Men just go with it.
Yeah, like you see that one cat on Instagram that just turned 70. I follow him. I can't remember his name, but this dude, he shows a picture when he was 59, 60, then in his early 60s. Now he's 70, shredded to the bone, still athletic. Couldn't move before, but now super athletic.
Yeah, because he's working with what he's got.
That's right.
You know, and there's nothing. He's controlling what he can.
Yeah.
And that's all you got to do. Ladies, men, everybody. You got to control what you can. And that does not include other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
As much as you want to, you cannot control other people. You can't control their actions. You can't control their reactions to you. You can't control their thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So stop trying.
Yeah. You can control your narrative. Sometimes you have to rewrite the narrative.
You can only control your own
based
story.
on where you are. Yeah, that's it.
And it's all like we had a podcast talking about choices. You control your life by the choices you make. You can go left or you can go right, or you can go straight ahead. That's it. Going backwards isn't an option because time doesn't go back. It deviates, it slows down, it speeds up, but it still goes.
That's why you have so many people. Remember when? I remember when. I remember.
Looking back you can't control the past. No. You can't control the future. You can control right now, but yet people focus and worry about all the shit they can't control and wonder why they can't control it instead of focusing on what they can.
Yep. And want to push the easy button.
That shit doesn't exist, y'all.
There is no easy button.
Oh, man. Good topic, dude.
Yeah,
Great
man.
topic. Coach KJ, man. Where they going to find you?
They're going to find me on that gram. I don't know. I just got excited. They're going to find me on that gram. Coach KJ knows. They go
on that Google. Where they going to find him on that Google?
Like CoachKJ.com.
You go find me at Leonel Hunt on the gram. You'll find me at huntspine.com. Go check out the foundation, thehuntfoundation.org. You can check out everything Coach and Doc on podcastsoe.com. Everything about us is there.
Yeah.
Catch the recent episodes. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're
Catch
on
our
everything.
lives.
Catch the lives every Saturday at 11. We're throwing them out there.
When we do them.
And new podcast comes out every week at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, man. Always a pleasure. We out.
We out.